Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I'm Ethan Simi, and today I am joined by three wonderful guests. First up, a man who needs no introduction to the pod, Kevin Mikos. What's up, Kevin?
Hello again.
And two other returning guests as well, Sophia Ciminello. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Jeremiah Battle. What's up, Jeremiah?
What's up? Always a pleasure being on the pod. Always having a good time on the pod. So happy to be back.
And today we are drafting the top 25 movies of the last 25 years in a part one of a two-part collaborative draft. So I have essentially, in theory, lied because we are not drafting all 25 movies here today. We are drafting spots 25 through 13. This will be part one of a two-part series, two-part collaborative draft that we are doing here on the show. We have done a two-part collaborative draft only one time prior on this draft pod, and that was to do the entirety of the MCU, and that was rife with all sorts of fun and drama and crazy things. This, in my opinion, will be more difficult because these are better films that we're having to choose from and not a set list of films like the MCU gave us prior. Kevin, what's up? We're recording this just one day after the results of 2013 movie draft came out. When this episode comes out, though, those results will be like 6 weeks old. So we're doing a big pre-record here for such a big episode. But you won. Congratulations. You've officially reached the three-peat club. How does it feel?
Yeah, I guess three-peat would imply that they were in a row, I guess. I think they were.
Sure,
it's like 3 wins over 25 appearances on this podcast or however many I've done. But no, it's like 8 appearances. I feel like I got a pretty good batting average. I'm doing good. I'm happy to come off a win, a pretty dominant win. I think without getting too cocky, I've said before that if I want to win drafts, I will, and if I want to have fun, then I'll do that. So I employed the pick movies for the vote strategy, and I got the vote. So I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty impressed because you kind of smashed the competition. I was like in a little bit of shock. It's that
it was about time.
It's that about time hype. I literally, that's where I was going.
I don't even like the movie. I was like, I know people are gonna vote for it.
That's wild. If you voted for Kevin, you didn't listen to the pod, please listen to the pod and subscribe to us on YouTube so you can understand that I drafted better than Kevin. Okay. Sophia, what's up? You recently made your debut for the Best Picture Losers draft, and now you're back. You have never done a collaborative draft before, and neither has Kevin, neither has Jeremiah, which is super, super wild. But welcome back. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I am so excited to be back. I think, the Best Picture Losers draft was so fun, even though I got my heart broken. I still then just followed my heart anyway, picked some good movies for my team. And I feel like we just had an embarrassment of riches with that list. And I think we have the same situation today. So I'm excited to do it collaboratively and see where we end up.
Okay. There's the first mention of excited to be collaborative. Let's see how many times we say that before that doesn't ring true anymore. Yeah. I will say very quickly that before we started recording, we were in a group chat together and we all chimed in. We were like, I need 10 more minutes before we record. And we all basically sent that at kind of the same time. And then we were like, oh my God, this is great. Like, we're all aligned for a collaborative draft. What are the chances? So the vibes are good right now. The collaborative vibes are good. Vibes are good. I think once we start talking logistics, maybe the vibes might deteriorate quickly, in my opinion, at least. Jeremiah, you're back. You haven't been on an episode since episode 62, which was the 2022 auction draft. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I haven't been here since the auction draft. That was a lot of fun, but this is my first time doing a collaborative draft. So nervous, but also excited. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm really excited to get started. So, yeah.
I genuinely didn't know that all three of you had never done a collaborative draft before we made this episode happen. So that was complete dumb luck on my part. I will say, and listeners of the pod would probably agree with me, that the collaborative draft is the most fickle and the most dramatic and the most interesting. So I'm really curious to see how this goes with all of us. I feel like we all bring something different to the table, this kind of newness to the collaborative draft. So I wonder how that will shake out. Kevin, the top 25 movies of the last 25 years. It's a big task. How are you approaching this exercise here?
Well, we've been talking off pod about how we're all just gonna have fun and not take it too seriously. So I'm gonna try to match everybody's energy. But obviously I want to like strike the common ground that I find, which is like between the, for me, I'm always drafting somewhere between the like populist pick and the most annoying person on Twitter. Like I'm somewhere in that middle ground, and I think that's kind of what I want to represent here.
Okay. Best of both sides. I can appreciate that, and I wonder how that'll play for such a big task here. Sophia, same question. We have a really big task. I know off mic before we started recording the draft, you had kind of alluded to being on for the Best Picture Losers draft, and curiously wondering if maybe some of those movies will reappear here today or on the list in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm really thinking of. There are some movies that I drafted in that draft that I think might pop up again on either your guys's picks, or I might go for them, or ones that I didn't pick that were really close to being picked last time. I think the tricky part, and we'll get to this, I think when you get into the rules, is really the split of the draft, because we're not doing 1 through 12. So that's I think where it could get really, really spicy.
I totally agree with you. And I actually think that's like the biggest strategic and logistical hurdle that we have to maneuver here as a group, is figuring out what makes this portion of the list. Because it's really easy. I feel like it's really easy to be like, these are the top 10 movies of the last 25 years. But like, that's not our job here today. Our job is to find the ones that fit outside of that, which I think is a little bit more difficult. Jeremiah, how are you approaching today? What are you hoping to accomplish with this exercise and with this segment of the list?
I mean, I'm hoping to be collaborative. I want to see, well, I don't really know exactly what Sophia or Sophie?
Sophia, yeah. But Sophie will be on soon.
So Sophia.
This is true.
Yeah, so I don't really know like Sophia's taste. I know Kevin's a little bit. I know yours, Ethan's. So like I'm hoping that we can all be collaborative and we all have a general sense of what we consider to be the top or I guess like the higher half of the 25, but I'm hoping that we could be collaborative, and I'm hoping that we can all work together, but we'll see. I don't know.
Okay, that's 2 times. I'm keeping a tally here of times that we intend to work together and collaboratively for when that down spirals and we in fact don't do that. I guess I'm just worried. Like going into this draft, that's how I'm approaching it, with a great sense of anxiety and unease and worry, because as we've already mentioned so many times here, we're doing 25 through 13. Ben, Sophie, and myself, the holy trinity of the Movie Draft Podcast, we will be doing 12 through 1. So basically what is happening here is we are recording this episode like a month and a half in advance. So that way Sophie, Ben, and myself know what has made them and record accordingly for the top half of this list, because I feel like both are very big tasks. Now, it is important, like you said, Kevin, to do some populist picks, but to also keep a list that is unique and deep cut and important to ourselves here. Did you guys watch anything for the first time or rewatch anything in prep for this draft to kind of figure out, does it belong in this list? Should it be dedicated to this episode?
I didn't rewatch anything, but I did go through my Letterboxd lists for different years, different decades, just to see for myself where things were ranked. And then also I have an all-time top 100, and to see like, okay, which movies from there would I potentially put in this range? And then because we have this little director wrinkle that you'll talk about, I kept thinking, okay, like, is the best representation of a particular director these movies that I really like, and will it fit in this part of the list? So that was another strategy I had.
A lot of stipulations that are going to come into play here, and we'll talk about the rules of this draft. Kevin, Jeremiah, did you guys rewatch anything? I know, Kevin, you mentioned you have a list of like 150 movies, which unfortunately, I have to be honest with you, will not fit. We are here to draft 13. Sorry.
Maybe we'll do the top 150 movies of the last 150 years draft at some point.
I love it. Let's do it.
I guess the beauty of a list like this is that you kind of don't really have to rewatch anything, because I'm just watching movies. It's such a wide range of years that I'm watching movies all the time. So I'm going to find something to put on the list. And like you said, I picked over 100 of them just off the top of my head. So I don't think I needed to rewatch any really, but I feel prepared.
Okay. Feel prepared, which is a direct contradiction to what you told me off mic, that you were ill prepared. Okay. So let it be known, Kevin playing both sides of the aisle currently. Well done.
That's not what I meant.
Jeremiah, what's your prep like for this draft? Do you have a short list? Did you rewatch anything? What are you coming into it with?
So I did rewatch a few films. Not necessarily in prep for this, but in prep for some Letterboxd interviews that I was doing. So I have rewatched a few films, but I do have a short list of about 45 films that I'm considering to be in my top echelon of the last 25 years. So not as extensive as Kevin's, but definitely got a sizable list in front of me.
Wow. Okay. Well, I feel really underprepared because everybody has a sizable list, and I have a list of 25 definite films that need to be on this list of 25. So we'll see.
And that rule is really hard, that one director rule, because a lot of my I knew that the rules in place, but like a lot of these films are directed by some of the same people, and like picking between them is going to be a little bit hard, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yes.
It's a terrible rule.
Okay. So you guys have alluded to it. We do have a rule. We have a director's rule, and we should talk about it because it will inevitably dictate the direction that this draft will go, and the movies that will get played here today, and the ones that will get played in the 12 through 1 in the part 2 of this list. So let's go through the rules, the logistics. I have a few questions that I kind of want to field to you all as part of this kind of collaborative experience to see just how collaborative we can be, because I do want to be collaborative. Regardless of what everybody thinks, that is our job here today, is to work together. So I find that to be a really important task, but I have some questions about like how we want to steer this list. So this is a collaborative draft, whether your strategy is to go for the win, get the movies that you want on the board, or like I said, work together so we can kind of make a grand list that we feel represents the top 25 movies of the last 25 years. There is only going to be one list standing after this. So after this episode today, we will have part 1 of this list, spots 25 through 13. Next week on the pod, we will have spots 12 through 1 that will amass to form the top 25 movies of the last 25 years, according to the Movie Draft Podcast, whatever that may mean at the very end of the day. We'll see how that goes. The only rule here is that we can only have one film per director. So we talked about this as a group. I threw this to Ben and Sophie as well, and we're kind of all in agreement that in order to prevent possibly a more recent bias or recent load of films that we as a collective culture have kind of either revitalized or reviewed or fell in love with, it is important that we get a nice big diversification. So that'll be the big rule. One film per director is allowed. Now that stands for the list in its entirety, not just for this episode. If a Denis Villeneuve movie is played here, it will not show up in the top half of the list. If a Christopher Nolan movie is played here today, there will not be one on the top half of the list. So I think that's important. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think we can successfully traverse that?
Yeah.
I think it's a great rule. It breaks my heart, but I do think it's a good rule because, like you said, Denis Villeneuve, that's my guy. That's that's my dude. Like I love all of his movies, and pretty much every movie he's made is like a favorite movie of mine. So just like one example, him, but also Nolan. There's multiple filmmakers who've made so many great movies in the last 25 years, and it feels kind of wrong like picking them on this side of the draft because I feel like they're so deserving of like, having those top spots, and it breaks my heart. So I don't know how I feel about it.
That was kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, okay, for me, the example is Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm like, if he's
I was hoping you would go here. This is
my
exactly
favorite director who's working now and has so many 5-star movies to me, like, am I being disrespectful to him by picking one in the 13 through 25 range?
So,
and then it's like, which one do you even pick? You can only pick one,
right?
Yeah. So you could view it as that. You could view it like that. Now, the flip side of that coin, of that viewing perspective, is that you ensure that a PTA movie makes the list. God forbid we get to 12 through 1 and we just get so hyper focused on non-PTA stuff, right? So like, could you imagine?
No way.
You could find yourself in a real pit here because if one of us doesn't play, I'm just PTA for example. I'm not singling this out, but I'm just saying if one of us doesn't play a PTA movie here, and someone doesn't play it next week, PTA will definitively not have a movie in the top 25 movies of the last 25 years, which we all know is wrong, and I don't expect to see to fruition. But this one director rule, I think PTA is a great shout here. I think Scorsese, of course, Nolan is a great shout here. There is a duo of movies in particular for a director that I'm curious if we're going to have the conversation today or next week, because they're very different movies that I think both deserve to be on this list. Of course, cannot happen. If we don't touch on it, we'll put a pin in it and maybe come back to this conversation at the end of our list here. But that is a tough spot we find ourselves in. As always with the collaborative drafts, a special shout out to Screen Drafts, a wonderful podcast that has influenced this draft layout. Go check them out. Go listen to them as well. Are we ready to explain the picks and the abilities and begin this exercise?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
We're feeling good. Okay, great. So we are doing a 13 movie, 4-person collaborative draft. There are 4 of us, 13 possible movies. There will be 4 drafters. Drafter A is going to get picks 13, 17, and 21. And I'm just looking through to see if I can help equate what that would be, because I did do this out. That would essentially be like spots like 1, 5, and 7 or something like that, right? Like we basically had to take the 13 through 25 list and reconcile it to what it would be for a normal draft of spots 1 through 13. Drafter B is going to get picks 14, 18, and 22. Drafter C is going to get 15, 19, and 23. And drafter D is going to get 16, 20, 24, and 25. Now, although drafter D has the most amount of overall picks, they are only going to have one single veto. Drafter C is going to get a veto and the only veto override of the game. Drafter B will get a single veto as well because they have such kind of high echelon picks. And drafter A will get 2 vetoes in this exercise. Now, the vetoes can be used on somebody else's pick. So say that The Social Network gets played at 18 by Kevin, and Jeremiah says, nope, we're going to veto that. Either I don't want it on the board or I want it higher up. That is how a veto would work in that situation. Now, if that does happen and I possess the veto override and I actually do want The Social Network there, I can play the veto override on somebody else's pick. You just can't play the veto override on your own pick. So I can't play Turning Red at 16 and have Sophia veto it for only me to veto override it. That does not work, cannot happen.
Which I would do.
I hope so.
Let's see what happens, guys. Who knows? I can't believe that I just plucked Turning Red like that. I was like, 5-star masterpiece, Turning Red, bam. The only little wrinkle and the only little caveat that I most recently discovered, thanks to our generous co-host Ben, is that you can veto your own pick. So if you fuck up, you do have that option. Just keep that in mind. That is always available, I guess, if you want it. I've found myself in the situation before where it could have been helpful. So you might find yourself in that situation as well. Who's to say? Okay. Are there any questions about picks or abilities before we spin for our spots? We're good? We're good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. I do want to float out one question in particular to this group before we start drafting. And I will have a couple more kind of guiding questions as we go, because I'm very interested where we should go. So my question for all of you, we have 25 years to choose from. The only rule here is it has to have a US release date of January 1st, 2000 through June 10th of 2025. We will miss material list by a couple of days. I don't know, Jeremiah, if you think that would qualify for this list or not. You have seen it. Ineligible. The question that I want to float to you guys.
Pain.
Movies that have come out like in the last 5 years versus the 20 years prior to that. How are we feeling about spreading the wealth? Because we don't have a year stipulation, right? It's not one movie per year. We could choose 7 movies from 2019 to 2024. Where are you guys feeling like the vibe is going to take us?
Hopefully not there.
Yeah. I would say though, what's funny about it is I think like it will be more diverse, but I do think our part of the list will have more recent movies than the top part of the list. I think that part is, at least the way I'm thinking of it, is going to be like more diverse, some older stuff that we've had more time with. Whereas like I would feel better putting a 2023 movie here maybe than in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. For the
Okay.
most part, yeah.
There are some exceptions maybe, but
I agree with that. I'm looking at my short list and I do agree with that. I think that is where we'll be headed. The only problem I had prepping for this draft is I don't know what the fuck you guys are going to pick. That's the problem here, because we all essentially only get 3 picks. So it's not like I'm making a list of 25 myself. It's not like Jeremiah is making his list of 25, So like, it's really how much impact can you have on your minimal picks that you get? I guess at the end of the day, I will end up having the most power over this list because I will be present for both parts of the list, meaning I will either get 6 or 7 picks on a list of 25. So Turning Red, I see you. You're not going to be left out. Don't worry.
Oh, no.
Could you give us extra?
Why are you guys
vetoes
hating on
before
Turning
we-
Red so much? Wow.
It's just like
I don't
25 years of
I don't
animation.
I
and you're
don't
gonna
hate
pick
it,
Turning
but
Red.
I have some other animated ones I could maybe be good with.
Cool. Let it be known this episode number, what are we at here? 79. The first episode where I stuck up for animation when nobody else did. Let it be known. Okay.
I don't have any animated picks on my list. I'm gonna be honest.
What? No way. I have a couple.
That's a great
amount.
follow-up question.
Big
Jeremiah,
animation guy.
your response makes me have this follow-up question. How important is it to diversify genres? Drama, comedy, animation. Is that our task here today, is to make a wealthy, hearty list of diversifying types of film?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like you apply the same philosophy to like when people are like, okay, aliens are coming down to Earth. What are we going to show them that represents this medium, right? So you want to spread the wealth, show different genres, show like a different show different years, different eras. Even though it is 25 years, there's definitely different eras in the span of that 25 years. So you want to spread the wealth. I think that's the philosophy I'm trying to go for.
It's a good philosophy. Turning Red would fit the bill. Okay.
No. I gotta rewatch it. To be fair, I need to rewatch it. To be fair,
look, I'm a girl dad. It's what I do. Okay, let's spin for our spots. Anybody hoping to get a particular spot? I
Yeah.
for one don't want D. 25 and 24. That's like staring Satan in the face. It looks terrible.
I know exactly what I want.
I kind of, yeah.
Okay. I kind of don't want you to get draft or D either, Kevin. That makes me nervous for you starting the list. No offense.
Okay. Yeah. I got bad news about the spot that I want.
Oh God. Okay. This is not ideal. Okay. We're gonna spin. I'm gonna hold it up here and see what happens. So we are spinning. This is happening in real time right now. Okay. So Sophia has gotten the first spin here. You will get to pick if you're a drafter A, B, C, or D. I'm going to keep spinning and see what other options we have. Okay. I'm going to get the second pick. Not bad. I'll take that. Not bad. Between Kevin and Jeremiah, very happy that Kevin, the only guy who wanted something in particular, is getting the scraps. And so Jeremiah will pick third, and Kevin, you will pick last. Jeremiah has dropped our call, so we shall.
So I think I should get the third. I think I should get the third pick.
TBD.
We'll see. We're gonna have to maybe think on our feet a little bit here. We'll try to vamp for a few minutes to let Jeremiah kind of come back in. Sophia, you did get the first pick, so are you going to be drafter A, B, C, or D?
I am going to be drafter C. I want the veto override and the veto.
Okay, that sucks. That's what I wanted. That's not ideal.
We're always aligned on these. For the past two, we've been very aligned.
It's true. Now, I will note that as a collaborative draft newbie, as you are, it is remarkably elusive to find a way to use the veto override. I will just put that out. That seems to be the general kind of consensus. Now, will that change here tonight? It's very, very possible. You sound pretty determined to use the override. So
I don't know. I just want it in my back pocket as an option.
Okay. As an option. Okay. Jeremiah is back. Jeremiah, don't worry. We are good. Okay. Sophia has picked drafter C. I get to pick next, and then you get to pick, and then Kevin gets the scraps. So sorry, Kevin, that I could not change the rules for you while Jeremiah was gone. I'm going to pick drafter A. I want 2 vetoes. I'm feeling I had a pretty bad day, so I'm feeling a little aggressive.
Feisty.
Yeah, a little feisty, just to be honest with you guys. So I'll take, frankly, not the greatest picks in this draft, but the 2 vetoes are looking pretty good. Okay, Jeremiah, that means you can be drafter B and get 14, 18, 22 in a veto, or you can be D and get 4 picks in a veto.
Don't advertise it like that. Okay?
Yeah, you see how you're
trying to get him to pick the pick that I want.
4 picks. I mean, look, you get 1 veto either way. Why wouldn't you take 4 picks?
Yeah, I feel like drafter B should get 2 vetoes all of a sudden, because what makes this such a treasured spot?
Don't question the layout. This is how the layout is. It is written.
All right.
You know what? I want B. I'll take B. I want B.
Oh, you didn't have to, Jeremiah. You didn't have to fold to the power of Kevin. Wow.
I want it. It's okay.
Okay. As long as you say so.
I'm curious to see what he has.
Okay.
Oh, I've got, Don't worry. I'm not going to mess up the list. Okay? I won't ruin the integrity.
Okay. I was like, I'm scared. I don't want to use my veto early.
I don't know.
Well, I can't guarantee that you guys aren't going to use a veto, but I've got ideas.
It makes it more interesting.
Yeah. I think it makes it more interesting for sure. We'll see if my very particular list of 25 movies manages to see 1 correct here. So let's begin the top 25 movies of the last 25 years, part 1, collaborative draft here on the Movie Draft Podcast. Kevin, you have spot number 25. Take it away.
I do. Okay. I'm gonna throw something out here that might get vetoed, but I really don't think it should though. I'm trying to be honest. I think
first
in the
pick and bros already
said,
hear me out.
Yeah,
I think in the spirit. No, but hear me out. This is you said that we want a diversity of genres, right? We want a diverse list. I think there is maybe only one studio comedy that deserves to be on this list.
Oh, studio comedy, you
oh.
say?
I feel like for most
Only
of the list,
one?
because if people are being serious, they might shy away from drafting studio comedies.
Mhm.
And I think we should at least have like one big successful comedy that people all love to laugh at. So I think that number 25 should be Superbad.
Yeah, Kevin! Right on, dude! Incredible pick.
Okay.
I was very
Sophia
scared because I
sounds
was
less
like,
than thrilled.
I love that pick.
I think
There are a lot of ways.
I was probably gonna pick Superbad eventually.
I just think that it is probably until the, I don't know if you guys are familiar, until the show American Vandal came out, there were very few artifacts of like this entire 25 years that are actually an accurate depiction of what high school is like, specifically in like how high schoolers in movies and TV shows talk. I think like they almost never get that right. And Superbad is probably the only time where like two guys who wrote a script in high school wrote it the way that they talked in high school. And it makes it really funny. And yeah, I think we should have a comedy on the list. So I'm picking Superbad, unless somebody wants to veto it. Which I would totally understand. And
No.
I have backup prepared.
No,
I
don't veto
I
this.
absolutely love that pick. Superbad is like one of the few films that like I just like think about it and I just start laughing. Like that's not common for me, but the fact that Superbad has that power over me, like I could be like at work or like walking down the street and I'll think of a random scene from the film and just start cracking up. I think it's hilarious. Love that pick.
It's also such a time capsule of like this particular period in time. Like this is when I was in high school. And I remember it just like everyone quoting it, being obsessed with it. It did have this hold. And I think the movies that came out around that time of the big studio comedies, it is definitely one of the best ones. So I have no problem with it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if it was going to be a time capsule, it was either this or Project X, and I think you guys are glad I didn't draft Project X. So.
No, that would have hard veto. Yeah.
This is great. I'm really thrilled that you picked this. It is on my short list, so this is very important to me. Be prepared to get fucked.
So far.
Prepare to be fucked by the long dick of the law, and just really incredible stuff. This is. I know you guys said it, but like true time capsule all the time. I just quote, like if something goes wrong in my life, I'll just look at my wife and just be like, fuck me. Right. And like, it's just almost 20 years old. And like, I'm still saying it. So this is a great pick. Comes out in 2007. Obviously stars Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Seth Rogen, Bill Hader. I just really doesn't get better than this. Okay. I can't. We're so up right
Good
now.
stuff.
I just can't believe where we are. One pick in.
Great start. See, it was good that I gave Kevin the pick, you know?
Yeah. So I told you guys you could trust me. I'm not gonna ruin. I told you I'm prepared. Okay. I'll go in the opposite direction and do something a little more serious.
Okay.
What that's gonna be though, I might need to vamp on for a second.
Okay. This movie cost $20 million to make, and it makes $170 million at the box office. That's just good stuff. We don't get that anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's really good stuff. Yeah. Different time.
Let me ask this question in the spirit of collaboration.
Okay.
Has anybody considered playing a documentary on this list? And if not, is that something I should consider here?
No, and I wouldn't. Yeah. I'm not anti-docs. I'm just like,
you're so pro animation, anti-documentary is what I'm hearing. It's the animation's valid. But
that's a better public appearance than anti-animation, anti-doc. So I'll take it. I hadn't considered it. I quite honestly don't seek out documentaries very often. So
see, and that's the problem. No.
The problem with me or the problem with people?
No. I'm just saying, I'm just saying if we're diversifying the list, I think we should encourage people to seek out at least one documentary. But the reason why I'm asking is because I would play it higher, but I don't want to do that if you're so opposed already. Then I should just dump it here. I mean, I could just not play it at all.
Just don't play it at all.
That's okay. We don't have to.
To be fair, I think that in our current age, and if we are talking about the last 25 years, I feel like especially with the age of streaming, documentaries have like found a place within like society and pop culture. Like documentaries definitely do have like staying power with the people who do watch films today. So I think it's not like bad to include a documentary. But that being said, it's not like I'm watching a lot of documentaries. Like I've seen a good amount, but I definitely watch more narrative based films than documentary.
I could shy away from the documentary if everybody's in agreement. That's fine.
Seems like we are.
I love documentaries.
Yeah, just, you know,
I love documentaries.
Okay,
it's one of the vital movies of our time.
I've made documentaries. I like them.
Jeremiah is pro doc. Let it be known for the whole world.
Yeah, this is good.
I'm pro doc.
If you don't play this, put a pin in it, come back and mention it at the end at least, so we know what you were thinking.
Sure, I'll mention it. I won't play it because I want to be collaborative. I'm gonna. Hopefully, you don't veto this other movie. I'm gonna play instead. I'll play my favorite working director's probably most popular movie. It's not my favorite, but it's probably her most popular. No. I'm gonna do First Cow, the Kelly Reichardt movie. If that's
I love this movie.
I love this play. I love this play.
I haven't seen it. So yeah.
Wow.
Highly recommend.
Watch it. I'm missing out.
Kelly, my favorite director. And First Cow is.
I could have sworn it was Shyamalan.
I feel like I would put my favorite movie of hers is Certain Women, but that's like that depends on the person. I think First Cow is kind of like everybody would agree on that one. So
I saw The Mastermind, her new movie at Cannes, and it's excellent.
I'm so excited. I know other people who have seen it, and it's as excited as Josh O'Connor, one of my favorite working actors. So it's about as excited as I've ever been for a movie. It's at least the most excited I am for a movie this year. And I look forward to it, but that's good to hear. First Cow, it's got a cute little cow in it. It's got John Rajaro. It's really lovely. Everybody should watch it if they haven't seen it.
It's got a highly focused narrative around selling biscuits, which I think is very cute as well. Like, if you're big on biscuits, this is a great movie for you. You mentioned the cute little cow. Lily Gladstone also in this movie. This is a great movie. This was my introduction to Kelly Reichardt, actually. I have not revisited it since. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I have a much deeper appreciation for it now that I have seen some of her other films. I have a much broader understanding of like film in general and how different genres and paces work. And this is a really special movie. It also takes place in like Oregon territory, and I am a Pacific guy, so gotta represent. Yeah, Pacific Northwest. That's where I reside. Have you seen Night Moves? This is really cool. No, I haven't seen Night Moves yet.
Okay, that was my first Kelly Reichardt movie. I think it's a good place to start.
That's fun.
This is really fun. I love this on the list. Was totally not on my radar, but I wholeheartedly support this.
Okay, I feel pretty good. I thought I was going to let everybody down with my picks. Okay, this is good.
Kind of 2 incredible picks. Honestly,
we still got 2 more. So
okay, so First Cow ticks off the 2019 box. I just kind of want to maybe put a pin in that. I think that's an important maybe thing to recognize. Obviously, we're not withheld to we could play more 2019 movies, but I think that is worth noting in some form or fashion. Yeah. Okay, Sophia, you have pick number 23.
Okay. This is so tricky because I do kind of want to go recent because I think there are some that are really deserving of a spot on the list. But no, okay. I'm actually going to go back in time. So my pick, I'm going to go with a pick from 2000. So the very beginning of the eligibility. I'm going to pick Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous, which is one of my favorite movies. I think it's kind of the precursor to Licorice Pizza, which is a favorite of mine as well. Great Kate Hudson performance. I think it just has this really warm quality. Original screenplay winner at the Oscars. And yeah, I just love it very much. And I feel like it fits kind of into this spot of the board, maybe.
I like that. I'm mulling it over, but I like it. I like it a lot. I think Philip Seymour Hoffman is fantastic in this movie, and I think it's a very important movie to like check the box, like you said, of like in that kind of Licorice Pizza vein, where it's just like, you're young and the world looks so big, and maybe you just have to get that big thing one way or another.
Yeah, it's a good coming of age story, I feel, but it's not like a heavy hitter like some of mine that I hope we get to in the top rounds.
I didn't think we'd have a movie with Jimmy Fallon in it on the board. I will say that's a bit of a little bit of a curve, but we'll take it.
I came close with Superbad. I think like the comedy, comes
that's
close.
True.
But,
that's true.
Yeah, he could replace one of the Superbad characters.
I'm pro. I like the fact that you picked a 2000 movie as well. I think this is, you mentioned like the spot on the board. I do think this is the spot on the board for something like this. Jeremiah, any qualms or quandaries from you? The silence is making me a little nervous.
You can veto. I have other options. Totally.
No, I'm mostly nervous because I'm thinking about my pick that's next. That's mostly why I'm like, I'm thinking about my next pick.
You're in the splash zone. I see. Yeah. Okay.
But I do love Almost Famous. I think that's a great pick. You did mention Licorice Pizza, which I don't really like too much, if I'm being honest. But I do like Almost Famous, so it's okay.
Well, we have other
not a big Licorice Pizza guy.
We can touch.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
I also think
as long as it's not Licorice Pizza.
It won't be Licorice Pizza. No. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Kind of traverses the I guess pseudo journalism movie a little bit here, where it is, of course, focused on Rolling Stone and what he ends up doing for that outlet. So I think that's important. Like that's been a very foundational subgenre of films over the last 25 years. So this is a good pick. It's a very good pick. Okay. We're good. We're keeping it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Maybe I'll veto my own pick later. Who knows?
Okay. I'm pro.
Okay.
I think an interesting exercise here would be to just look momentarily. I'm looking at release date here. Cameron Crowe would be off the board. So that would make Vanilla Sky ineligible. How are we feeling about that, guys?
And Aloha, if anyone wanted to venture there.
Aloha is terrible, though. I'll say that.
Okay.
Awful.
Vanilla Sky shouldn't be on this list, but I fuck with Vanilla Sky. Let it be known.
I have to watch it. It's like one of the few Tom Cruise films I haven't seen.
Yeah, I should watch it as well.
Great.
I'm a big Tom Cruise guy.
Yeah.
Great. Kurt Russell. Great Kurt Russell performance in this.
Kurt Russell's in there.
How great could it be?
It's pretty great. Okay. Jeremiah, you're up with pick number 22.
Yeah. So my strategy with this is trying to pick a film that represents films being made over the last 25 years, but and not to downplay this director, but not picking a film from a director that has a super large filmography with a lot of notable films. So I tried to pick someone who has one really great film and a filmography of not like not that many films. So the film that I'm picking is Nightcrawler from, I believe Dan Gilroy is the director.
Oh, yeah. Dan Gilroy. Okay. Ooh, spicy pick.
Yeah. I think that's one of my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal performances. I specifically remember when I was first getting into watching films, this was like one of the formative films that I watched that kind of like showed me like this is what you can do with the medium. This is what the thriller genre can be. And it kind of inspired me to kind of make films like that and write films like that. So it was a very impactful film to me personally. So yeah, I love it.
I think what's important here about Nightcrawler is that it kind of like Almost Famous did with kind of the pseudo journalism movie. I think Nightcrawler kind of explores this real kind of antsy energy and kind of anxiety laden movies that we get kind of in the last 10 years. Nightcrawler comes out in 2014 and kind of really throws us into that anxiety laden drama, that subgenre that we get. I can't argue that this is the best Jake Gyllenhaal performance, because every time I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, nobody else on the planet could have done that.
I think it is. Yeah.
Also, Riz Ahmed
don't think so.
is lights out.
Yeah,
You don't
Riz
think so,
Ahmed
Kevin?
is amazing.
No.
Oh, where
What's
are you at on
better?
Nightcrawler then?
Well, Jeremiah said that it was such a personal movie that it makes me not want to play a veto here, especially because I only have one. Otherwise, I probably would have. But
Really?
yeah, I'm not
Oh, I don't-
crazy
I don't like
about
that.
it. I think
I don't
it's
like that energy.
fine. I think it's fine. I really don't think it's anywhere
Ooh.
close to Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance, if I'm being real. I think it's maybe like
Okay.
4 or 5 Jake Gyllenhaal performance. He's definitely better in Zodiac. He's definitely better in Brokeback Mountain. He's definitely better in Prisoners.
Okay.
And then Nightcrawler. I mean, you
Make
know,
an argument.
I think that Gyllenhaal's become too known for like the yelling and getting angry thing. And that's like a real like Gyllenhaal staple. And I think a lot of his best work is not in those movies, like Zodiac and Brokeback Mountain, and I've been Prisoners. He gets angry, but I think it's a better example.
Okay. So
It's fair.
I support this pick, Jeremiah. Let it be known. But I do think it's important, now that Kevin has kind of opened the genie out of the devil's advocate bottle here. I think it's important that we analyze this for a second, because you mentioned a handful of movies: Prisoners, Zodiac, Brokeback Mountain. Leads me to a very direct question: how many times do we want Jake Gyllenhaal on this list? Because like Brokeback Mountain, like if we don't want to get into any other ones, I think it's important that we recognize that. My follow-up question to that is, LA plays a large role in this movie. There is at least one other prominent working director that really navigates LA with extreme efficiency. How important is it that we have not too many movies focused on LA as a character?
I think the LA thing is a big deal. I do think the Gyllenhaal thing is a big deal because specifically if you want like Zodiac on the list, problem with Zodiac is the person who directed it, you know?
That's the issue
conversation.
there.
I think the
that's
same.
what I'm referring to.
And
So
I think
don't
the
know if
same thing
Zodiac's
goes
gonna
for
make it,
Prisoners
but-
as well, at least for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you wanted to get
no.
Brokeback
Prisoners
Mountain on the
wouldn't
list,
be
I would
my-
not be opposed. But
Yeah.
I think 2 Jake Gyllenhaal performances is fine. I think anything more than that, the list probably isn't diverse enough.
I do think Brokeback is a.
But even speaking about
I
Brokeback
picked that
Mountain,
last time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, listen, I
Are
would
we
use my
vetoing
one
this?
veto
Is
here
it-
if
is
we
this a
want
veto?
to, but I'm not going to if you like the movie that much. I mean, it seems like the 3 of you all really like the movie, so I'm not.
It wouldn't be in my top 25.
I feel like we're really teetering here. Teetering on the veto.
Well, who's going to
Just give me the veto.
I'll use my veto. Yeah.
Okay.
I have one and I have a veto override.
Big
So I'll use it.
Okay.
play. Okay. Another interesting little logistical wrinkle that I forgot to mention is when vetoes are up to play, it will basically go in order of who picked first. So Sophia, you will have the first go at a veto. If you pass, it will then go to me. If I pass, it'll then go to Jeremiah and then Kevin. And so that is kind of how that plays out. So you are going to be using your veto here. So I'm going to cross that off on our notes. I'm glad you did it.
If
so
you
I
want
didn't
to
have
strike back at me, you're welcome to, and I can do another one for 23.
God, I'm really torn on that. I think that was a great, innovative pick, Jeremiah. I'm just worried about further up the board. You know, I'm thinking of the future.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got to pick again. Sorry.
Oh.
It'd be funny if
Okay.
you just picked a different Jake
You know, I
Gyllenhaal.
That would be awesome, actually.
I mean, but the thing with Jake Gyllenhaal is that he works with these like great directors that I want to like maybe have in the upper echelon of the top 25. Like if you're talking about Gyllenhaal, Prisoners, it's Villeneuve. Ang Lee. Like I think Brokeback Mountain's a fantastic film, but there are films from Ang Lee that I like more than Brokeback Mountain. So I don't know. I don't know.
He used to work.
I'm gonna go completely different. Yeah. Oh yeah, he hasn't really been in. I don't even know the last thing he was really in. Honestly,
I mean, who knows what choices
he's had a rough
now.
filmography. Jake Gyllenhaal recently.
The past couple years have been brutal,
yeah,
and now he's doing television. So it might be.
Oh yeah, Roadhouse.
Yeah, not ideal.
Didn't Doug Liman make Roadhouse? Doug Liman?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Is that what you're picking next, Jeremiah? You're putting Doug Liman's Roadhouse on this list? Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
No. I'm going to go a completely other direction. I'm going to go with a director that I love, and I see where we're at now with this list. I think I kind of understand it a little bit more, where you guys are at least. So I think I'm going to pick the film. Well, I'm stuck between two films from this one director. Alfonso Cuarón, one of my favorite directors. I just don't know which film I want to pick from him.
Yeah, you should make
it's between two.
Here.
I have one of his films on my short list.
I have one of his on mine too.
Mm-hmm.
There's two really great films that he's made.
I have two. Yeah.
I'm stuck. I'm just gonna rip one. Wait.
It'd be so fucking cool if you put Prisoner of Azkaban on here. That would be the coolest thing on the planet, Jeremiah.
That wasn't even on my radar. I kind of forgot that. Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm gonna go with Y Tu Mamá También. I'm gonna go with Y Tu Mamá También.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Yeah. That's a film I've been thinking about a lot over this. I'm in graduate film school right now, so there's I took a history of film class. It's like a film theory class, and there was a lot of papers that I wrote specifically on Y Tu Mamá También, and specifically like the kinetic motion of the film. It's like a road trip movie where these characters are in pursuit of a destination, and something about the way that like the moving car and the moving of motion with the bodies, especially like at the end of the film, the jukebox scene. There's just so many beautiful moments within that film. Manuel Lubezki shot the hell out of that movie. I love the way that it looks. I love everything about that movie. So I'm going with Y Tu Mamá También. Yeah. Okay. You guys better not veto it.
I'm so proud of my veto here because I think that the right outcome.
I think this is a step up from Nightcrawler.
I love that movie so much. It was on my list, and then I had one
that's
more.
A great one.
Yeah.
At the time that this pod airs, the 2001 draft will already be out, so I will be able to speak to this movie differently in the past, if that makes sense. But right now, I haven't seen this movie, and I now have a reason to see it. A, it's drafted here. B, everybody's been telling me to see it. And C, we do have a 2001 draft coming up, recording in just a couple of weeks for me. So I'm excited to talk on this later. I respect the pick. It sounds like it was the right pick. I had Children of Men. That was the Cuarón that I had on my list. I think that was kind of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was stuck.
I wouldn't have vetoed Azkaban either. Let it be known.
I mean, I would have liked to see Children of Men on the list because that's like one of my 20 favorite movies ever. But I would not. Okay. I would not veto Y Tu Mamá También. That's like too good of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. The pressure's on. This is my first pick, and now I know what it feels like, guys. It's terrible. I do not enjoy it. Okay. Kent, is now a good time? I think we talked about this off air before we started recording. Kevin, you had mentioned, I wonder how many blockbusters going to be on this list here. How many do you think should be on this list? How many is it important that we recognize Hollywood?
One or two.
Yeah.
Really?
And specifically, I think I don't want to like name drop them, but I think they have to be as significant as a blockbuster gets, i.e. like Avatar, like culture changing blockbusters, or like
not made by a pair of brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I agree
this
with
is
that
interesting.
Sentiment strongly.
So this is interesting. I think this does lead into my question. So I would have preferred to see something like this in like a 24 spot. You mentioned the brothers. Avengers Endgame, I think at least warrants a conversation really fast. I know that we're getting shaking heads and I know people don't want to play it. But the reason that I mentioned this is not because I stand for the MCU or because I believe in the Russos, who I think are total hacks and very, very bad filmmakers. The MCU is a core part of Hollywood and the box office experience over the last 18 years. I think it's important to recognize that in some form or fashion. If an MCU movie doesn't make the list, I will sleep perfectly fine at night. But I do think, like you mentioned, Avatar, Avengers Endgame, second most successful movie of all time. Like, it's important, right? It's important in some form or fashion. We're not going in that direction. Is that what I'm hearing? We don't want to go there.
Like, I wouldn't put Gone with the Wind on the greatest list of all time if we were doing all time, and that's, like the top box office earner, right? And I think too, like, I don't know if I would be able to sleep at night if I saw Avengers Endgame right above Y Tu Mama Tambien.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think quality matters. Like the cultural footprint of something like Avatar or like The Lord of the Rings or even Mission Impossible in 20, 30 years is going to be a lot more significant than like bad Marvel movies. I'm not saying Avengers Endgame is bad. That's like probably
that's kind of the angle I was thinking too, of like that type of franchise or blockbuster of like a Lord of the Rings or a Mission Impossible.
Even what you said, I'm not crazy about the pick, but like even Harry Potter, like when the final Harry Potter movie came out, the reaction to that was not dissimilar from what happened with Avengers Endgame, and that will probably, I imagine, like Harry Potter will stand the test of time more than the MCU. But I don't know.
I think that's totally fair. I think this is very informative of where our list moves forward. I do think Avengers Endgame for me. Oh, go ahead, Jeremiah. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Okay, it's really interesting because I had this like really surreal moment not too long ago, a couple of days ago. So I was able to interview well, I guess can I say this? When is this coming out?
This episode will drop. Give me just 1 second. I don't want you to get in trouble. This episode will drop on July 15th.
Oh, we should be good. I'm gonna just say it anyway. I got to interview Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans for Materialist like a couple of days ago, and like sitting across from Chris Evans as like this 23-year-old guy who like was like 6 years old when Iron Man 1 came out, and like as this kid who was growing up, elementary school, middle school, high school, as the MCU was like growing and evolving. It's like always been a big part of my life. So there's just like a special place in it in my heart that I love those movies. I love comic books. Like I used to make comic book videos on YouTube in middle school. I love superheroes, but I think I do agree. Ultimately, like, is it a top 25 like film of the last 25 years? I don't think so. I do think it does hold a special place for a lot of people, and it is very influential. It does have a big influence on the film industry as a whole. So I don't know. I don't think it should be on the list, but I do think it still like is worth like recognizing, I guess, even if it isn't like the upper echelon of quality. You know what else? I think it's one of the better MCU films. What's up?
Okay. I'll say I think that like when I hate on the MCU publicly, whether it's like on TikTok or Twitter or whatever, the haters will flood into the comments. And the thing I always tell people is like, you already won. You know what I mean? Like why, if we're making a list of like the 25 best movies of the last 25 years, why do we feel the need to appease the people whose movie made $2.5 billion? It's like they get to talk about Avengers Endgame all the time. Like it already, you know what I mean? It's like everybody's like, oh, like it's the most successful movie in the last 25 years. So what, like, does it really need to be on our list? Like you'll be thinking about it anyway.
One thing I'll say that's not MCU.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
But I wonder if there will be, this has been in the back of my mind, like there is a huge comic book movie that could be picked at some point later on, whether it's top of our list next week. I think it's a possibility that someone could go with it. Yeah. But this director has
better superhero
ton of other movies.
Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3, actually. Jeremiah, you said much better comic book movies.
Oh yeah, so much better.
Okay.
Whenever people ask me what my favorite movie of all time is, there's a specific film that I say, and it's a superhero film, and it was made in the last 25 years. So,
okay,
yeah,
interesting. Okay,
yeah.
I'm glad that we cleared the air a little bit on the MCU of the conversation, the MCU conversation of this list. I actually kind of disagree with all of you, which is a take that I'm not used to having, especially when it comes to the MCU. I do think that it's important here, and I recognize all of your qualms and quandaries with it, and I agree fundamentally, but I lean toward more the Jeremiah camp, where it's just like, I grew up with those movies, and Endgame, that was it. Like that, I distinctly remember, like, I saw Endgame at 11 p.m. or whatever, and I went back to a 9 a.m. show the next morning, and I was just like, this is it. Like, this is what we've been trying to do. So that's tough. I never thought I would come on here and be like, let's put Avengers Endgame on a board, but alas, here we are. I still think, I recently rewatched it for the MCU collaborative draft. To me, it is a 5-star movie. It is a perfect culmination of what the MCU was trying to do at the moment in time. And of course, they have significantly fallen off of that very steep cliff since then. Okay, so
they're making a little comeback with the Thunderbolts. Make a little comeback.
Yeah, I'm pro Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
I like Thunderbolts.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't like play that, because that really has avoided a large problem here. I'm gonna play a movie that I really wonder how you guys are gonna feel. I don't know if it warrants to be any higher on this board, but I do think it deserves to be in this 25 conversation. I'm going to be putting forth Synecdoche, New York from Charlie Kaufman. A movie that I think is quite substantial, not only in its quality, but also in its encapsulation of complete and utter self-dread and self-doubt, and the way that we explore that and how deep the mind is in a physical manifestation. I know we have Philip Seymour Hoffman on the board already. That's in a supporting role. This would be in a lead role. I think it's important. It's in my top 25. I think this movie encompasses a lot of really the antithesis of what we just talked about for Endgame. So I'm going to put this forward. Happy to have it vetoed if that's where we're going.
I won't veto it. And also, I'm
not mad at it.
Hoffman point matters. I think the greatest actor of all time could probably have as many
that guy's in everything
on the list as he wants.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Love Philip Seymour Hoffman.
The best.
No,
I think this is a cool pick.
Pro.
It wasn't on my list, but I think it's interesting. I think we have so far a pretty diverse list.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we've hit a lot of different genres so far, which I was
Yeah.
hoping that we really would. So I think we're moving in the right direction here. I know when I put out like an initial poll for people a few weeks before we were recording this, I was like, yo, what are some movies that you guys think like deserve to make the list? I did see a lot of shouts for I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is another Kaufman movie. There's kind of a big hive to that. Wouldn't be my pick. This would be mine, but okay, cool.
Funny you mentioned that. My friend, who's not really a movie person at all, texted me. I shouldn't say he's not a movie person at all. He's not a movie person the same way that we are movie people. He texted me and he was like, have you seen I'm Thinking of Ending Things? And I recommended Synecdoche, New York to him. And this just happened like last week. So funny that you mentioned those two movies, because I made him watch Synecdoche, New York.
You love to see it. What do you know?
So
what do you know? Okay. 5 picks, 5 different years. Very interesting, the trajectory that we are heading here. Kevin, you are back on the board at spot number 20.
Yeah. I didn't want to do like I really there's so many movies that I like here that I didn't want my picks to be super modern like the last 5 years, but the fact that the last 3 picks were all from the 2000s makes me feel a little bit better about selecting something modern just to have the full range. So I think I guess the only like thing that would cause somebody to veto this is if you guys want it higher on the list. Because I imagine the movie that I'm no, really. I think the movie I'm about to select, if it's possible that you would just pick it for the first part of this podcast, the top 12.
Okay.
I guess I don't know how much the 3 of you specifically on that episode like it, but in general, people love this movie. I would like to put in this spot After Sun.
Oh,
I love it so much.
Okay, cool.
We're all After Sun heads here, right? Jeremiah, you're really pro on this movie, right?
I love this movie. What spot is this?
Number
This
20.
is
This is 20?
number 20. Yeah, and again, like if you guys want it higher, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
This is one
No,
of
I'm
my
cool with
like
that. I'm cool with
10
that.
favorite movies ever, so it could be
Yeah.
as high on the list as you want.
Yeah.
I just figure I only have 2 more picks, so it's probably good to play it here. This is like a life-changing movie for me. Probably won't see a movie that does this for me for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
I've gone too personal about this movie on the internet before, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to share all these details about my life. So I won't go crazy, but yeah, After Sun I think needs to be somewhere on the list.
Yeah.
I think
After
the
Sun
Paul
was on my
Mescal
short list.
performance is amazing too.
I think he should have
Like,
won the Oscar, but
He should have
One
won
of
the
the best performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
I drove like 45 minutes to an hour to go to a theater to go watch this at like some random little mall in Virginia to go watch After Sun at like 2 in the
Amazing.
morning. So the dedication was there and it paid off. I love the film. It was like a super emotional journey. I was like the only person in the theater too. So it was like I was watching it all by myself, crying at like 11 in the morning. So it was a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, beautiful film.
Yeah. It's you guys talk about like being life changing. I remember many things in my life. Like honestly, my memory is bad. I have trouble remembering my daughter's birthdays. I specifically remember what theater I saw After Sun at, what the showtime was, the way that I felt immediately after seeing this movie. And I've seen it a handful of times since. Obviously, you know, the girl dad daughter relationship and everything is fucking seminal for me. And a guy who not only is a dad to 2 daughters, but also struggles with exactly what Paul Mescal's character struggles with: the passing of time and the feeling of success and the feeling of meaning. The only reason I would veto this is to play higher. You're right, Kevin. But I actually think 20 is a great spot for this. It feels so
I think so
right.
too.
I love it.
I think so too.
Yeah, I like it here.
Doing
Okay.
pretty good.
So that is from 2022, directed by Charlotte Wells. I wonder if that'll be our only directorial debut. Nightcrawler would have been a debut, and if it had made the list, unfortunately, it did not. So something to note: directorial debuts.
yeah, that's interesting.
Very fascinating.
I
Okay.
could have thrown some out there, but I think any of the ones I would have picked would have gotten vetoed. So with the exception of After Sun. So
This is so good.
I have one, a directorial debut, but I don't know if you guys are gonna go for it or not. But we'll see. We'll see later.
Oh, okay. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Okay, Sophia, you have spot number 19.
Okay. So my pick is very polarizing. So if you guys want to veto it, you're welcome to.
Okay.
If you
Great.
want to veto it to put it higher, you can, or to just take it off the board. I wouldn't be surprised either way. This, I think, when you're talking about life-changing movies that you see that just make you think about the world in a completely different way. For me, that was Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. I love this movie. I think it's a beautiful, like absolutely transcendent experience, and it's unlike anything else I've ever seen. And it's my favorite movie of his. So that's my pick here. But again, I know this is like a 1-star or a 5-star for people, but I think it is like it's a core movie of the 21st century.
5-star, no doubt. 5-star for me. I love Terrence Malick. He's like quickly become one of my favorite filmmakers. And the only film that I had seen before I watched The Tree of Life, which was my second film from Terrence Malick, was Badlands. And I didn't love Badlands, but then I watched The Tree of Life, and it like kind of like showed me like Terrence Malick is like this person who's making like these insane films. So I watched The Tree of Life, then I watched Days of Heaven, and then I watched The Thin Red Line not too long ago. So like he's and I watched what is it called? The New World, A New World. Just all those movies were just like life changing for me. So I just love his style. I love what he does.
Yeah, I can't like comment too much as somebody who hasn't seen. I'm saving The Tree of Life to be my last Terrence Malick movie, so I'll watch it when I'm done with the others. I've seen like 5 now. But I think if anybody were to veto this, it would be drafting malpractice, and I think Like this would be probably the
Oh,
worst veto
boy.
in the history of the podcast. So
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, if someone did it, it
So-
would be kind of funny, but like it is just like, I think it's just one of those movies that when I saw it on the list, I was like, it has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And I thought like it could, but I could also envision it going undrafted if I didn't take it somewhere.
Yeah. So I've only seen one Terrence Malick film, Song to Song, and I thought it was like just perfectly okay.
Oh.
So
I don't care for that
oh,
one.
Jeremiah
That's-
didn't
I
like
don't-
that take.
yeah.
He dropped again.
I didn't like
But-
that take either.
Again, I will speak to the past and the future. When this pod is out, we will have done a Brad Pitt auction draft, and I will have seen the Tree of Life before then.
Okay.
Because if it has made this list, there is no way I am not seeing it for the Brad Pitt auction draft. So I'm cool with it in theory and in practice. I'm good with it, but I guess this would be the second movie that I haven't seen. So I guess I can't really use that as an excuse. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay.
It's whatever.
Listen, you
Oh.
could veto it. I would just shame
can-
you. That's all.
You can
Oh,
veto it.
no.
Like I have so many picks I could go
No.
with.
Like
It's
No.
hard to only
in the
have
spirit
three,
of collaboration,
honestly.
you're allowed to veto whenever you want. It's just
I am totally okay with this pick. I feel like you guys have done a pretty good job of recognizing its substance, why it deserves to be on the list. It's a 2011 movie. We haven't touched 2011 yet. I do feel like Terrence Malick is kind of like what Jeremiah was saying. There's like an importance there that should be recognized. So it feels like this would be the spot. Maybe if it got played at 16, I'd be like, well, we're kind of in a threshold territory here, but I'm cool. Cool if we played here.
yeah. In
Okay.
certain circles, Terrence Malick is the great American filmmaker. So just
Yeah.
saying. Certain,
Yeah.
certain
Like on
circles.
some versions of the
Certain
list, I think
circles.
this would be in like top 10 because it's just you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
American Palme d'Or winner. There's a
Hmm.
lot of I don't know.
It's big. I feel like I need to watch this movie. Okay.
I think after the pod, we should also circle back to the song to song conversation.
Maybe that was like, maybe that was like an
we need
introduction.
to pick that apart. And I mean, listen,
Introduction
it's
problem.
bad. It's bad that was the first movie you watched. I'll say
Okay.
that.
See,
It's
that's
also
what I'm saying.
well, okay. I guess it's the second one I watched, but I hadn't seen Badlands in so long before watching Song to Song that it felt like the first one I watched.
Hmm.
And people, when I watched it, my friends who are big Terrence Malick fans were like, "This is not a good idea."
Not the
And
intro.
I watched it anyway, and I loved it, so it worked out. But like, what I've heard is that is a really bad place to start.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal for me. Okay. Jeremiah has spot number 18. I don't know if Jeremiah is here or not. Jeremiah, are you
we'll
part
find
of this
out.
call? Can you hear us? He has a square.
Physically, he's
He's
here,
here.
but
He's-
not here.
He's here, but maybe not here. So we shall vamp for a moment
Yeah, we
and,
can
and
vamp.
see what happens, because this is imperative that Jeremiah gets his pick here at 18. Or perhaps he'll just have to text in his order.
What
Maybe.
would be the proper ratio of American to non-American filmmakers represented on the list?
Great question.
Mm.
There's an
It's
international film that I was
obviously
eyeing
all
for
of us will have
17.
seen more American films than any other
Yeah.
country just by virtue of like living here. But
I'll tell you, like my number 15 pick is an international, like it's a movie not in English if it goes there, but I'm toying with it being there just because it's one where I would want it in the top 12, but I also know that's going to be crowded.
Yeah.
I'm eyeing a non-English film for 17 as well.
Okay.
okay,
So-
I'm eyeing a non-English film for my next and final pick. So
Oh,
look at
well,
us
this is
go.
interesting. Okay. That's a really,
I just
really good
think
question.
I've had this conversation with many people in my day-to-day life, and it goes a little bit differently when you're talking to somebody who isn't into movies. But I like,
Sure.
for example, I've talked to my sister about it in the past, and I would go as far as to say that if we were making like a list of the 25 movies to represent the last 25 years, assuming that I had seen enough movies to actually like do this properly, there would probably be only a handful of American movie, like 2-3 American movies if we were really going to do that. And my sister was like, "Oh, you're crazy." And I was like, listen, listen, that's
Let me
not
give you the truth here.
how that
Yeah.
works. And I feel like that's probably the American sentiment is probably like that, I mean, most people I know who aren't movie people wouldn't even bother to watch movies that aren't in English. So
Yeah, unfortunately, tough reality. Okay, so I will say, as Jeremiah is not here, and we continue to vamp for a little bit in hopes that he can, in fact, join us for his pick. Because if he can't, I genuinely don't know what to do. I've never
this will be a first.
I've never done this before, so we'll see. We'll give him a few minutes here and see if we can traverse this.
Mhm.
I am curious now. I feel like we've kind of crossed the threshold a little bit now that we're pick number 18. Feels like we're getting into like more substantial territory here and a little bit less of this like First Cow, Synecdoche, New York kind of territory where it's like, yeah, okay, cool, I can see that on the list. And I feel like there is less. Again, I'm not trying to advocate for blockbusters. I just think I just think it's important. I think there's less room now. Avatar has come up.
Listen,
Is that
yeah,
the blockbuster we should be playing?
I think
that's what I need to
if
know.
you're talking about like the significance of the it's Avatar's undeniable. It's
Okay.
like it in many ways we wouldn't have Avengers Endgame if it wasn't for Avatar, or
Yeah.
a lot of the modern blockbusters.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, there's other like blockbuster, like quality. What you could argue that Avatar isn't the best of the bunch. I mean, I mentioned the Lord of the Rings as well. If anybody wants to put one of those movies on here, I'm not going to pick it personally, but I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
Yeah.
Like there's, I think there's movies that could and should be in the mix. Obviously, like if we're representing 25 years, we should have some blockbusters. I kind of assumed, honestly, that your part one would have some of the big blockbusters.
Oh,
Because
really?
I don't know. I was just under the impression that you'd pick one or two of like some of the, even like, it depends on how we're defining blockbuster. Like if we're talking like blockbuster as a genre or just like a money thing, but it's like you think of something like Oppenheimer, for example, if we're talking about Nolan. It's like that's on money alone, that's a blockbuster. It might not feel like Avatar or Mission Impossible or whatever, but surely like movies like that are in the conversation for the top half of this. So
Right.
I don't know. I
Well,
feel
and
like that's worth considering.
if you think about Oppenheimer, I mean, The Dark Knight totally changed movies too. Like it might not be your Nolan pick, but made a ton of money. It totally shifted how we think of the comic book movie. It changed the Oscars. I mean, there's a big argument for it.
Yeah. Okay, let's put a pin in that conversation because Jeremiah has rejoined us once again. And I feel like there's a lot of directors where we can have that conversation of like kind of the split of like which one matters the most. Jeremiah, you have pick number 18. What shall you play?
Okay. Oof. What did I miss? Did you guys pick, or did you guys?
Nothing since the Tree of Life. You're good.
Nothing since the Tree of Life.
Okay. I was trying to figure out my this setup. So it's all janky. Okay. Let's see. I think
We did. I will preface real quick that we did kind of discuss. It sounds like all of us have maybe a non-English movie in line for what we're thinking for our next pick. I don't know if that will influence you at all or kind of, change the functionality of the collaboration, but we had all mentioned that while you were gone.
Jeremiah did already draft one, though, to be fair.
It's true. Ooh, yeah, fair.
Wait. I missed the first part of what you said. I didn't quite hear you, Ethan.
Non-English movies. We are thinking about moving
non-English.
in that direction for our next picks. So I don't know if that will change your pick at all, but you can pick.
Okay. I think sideways.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
People should be watching on YouTube because this is like really good content in my opinion.
Okay. I think if we actually no. Last pick was Tree of Life, which I love. I need to be careful here because I don't want to pick someone that has other great films. This is so tricky. This is so hard. I think, okay, you guys can veto this. I'm just going to pick it because I'm convinced that no one else is probably going to pick it. And I don't think anyone else goes as hard for this movie as I do. I absolutely love this film. It's another directorial debut. We were talking about After Sun earlier. This is another A24 film. I have to mention it because she's one of my favorite directors working today. Past Lives from Celine Song.
Oh,
I
interesting.
I thought you were
have
gonna
to.
say
I don't know how you
movie.
guys feel
I
about
thought-
that film.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Okay.
going a different way, but I
Me too.
love Past Lives.
Yeah, leave it on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Let's go.
Past Lives.
Let's
I
go.
adore Past Lives. My only question I want to put to you all.
Mhm.
This feels like the junction to have the before trilogy conversation. Like Past Lives is in that vein, correct? So like, are we okay with two of that same walk and talk genre? Like I'm cool with it. That's my genre. Like I fuck with that so much. So I don't mind.
Me too.
I would put the whole before trilogy and Past Lives on here. I don't mind. But I just want to make sure we're like,
Oh yeah, me too.
that's where I'm thinking in the future.
I'm
Okay.
perfectly fine with having both. I love the Before trilogy.
Well, the only reason,
it's on my long
like,
list.
yeah, me too.
Yes.
But my thing with Linklater is like, I have Before Sunset on my list as well. I have like all of them minus Sunrise, right? But Linklater has made so many movies, especially within the last 25 years. So like, I'm not sure if picking Before Sunset, especially so early, and I think Before Sunset is one of his best films, if not his best. So I don't think it would be deserving of like at least for like my thinking of right now, because I was looking at those two films because they're kind of right next to each other on my list. They are very similar, but Before Sunset to me is like it's like top 10. So I would love to see it in that space if someone does decide to. But I don't know if people like Linklater. I've heard like interesting things, like especially like with my peers at school, they don't really like Linklater, and it kind of breaks my heart because I love Linklater a lot.
I think
love
it's
Linklater too.
I think it's a generational thing, to be honest. I think like he speaks to a very particular style of generation in his filmmaking. I love Past Lives on here. This movie just absolutely decimated me. And second John Magaro movie that is making the list, I think, in good company with PSH. And when he mentions that in bed about how they speak in different languages, literally and psychologically, is incredible stuff. So this is an awesome pick, Jeremiah. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you. Love it.
Okay. Kind of a nice little amuse bouche to the non-English route that we might travel here. We got, a partial non-English relationship and narrative here with Past Lives. So I think that's pretty great little segue. All right. Yeah. I've got 17. I feel like it's important to have this director on this list. And I'm going to make sure that I'm thinking of the right film, because there's another one that I think could argue, but in the vein of non-English, I am going to be playing Park Chan-wook's Old Boy here in this one.
Okay.
The reason I play it, and again, veto, totally fair. The reason I play it is because, like you had, Kevin, you had a true comedy. We've had true dramas. We've had no true action. I think it's important. I know we briefly mentioned Mission Impossible. I know that there's some other areas and avenues that we can explore this action subgenre, but I think that Old Boy is a great combination of not only incredibly stylized action in this way that Old Boy does, but the dramatic narrative with one of the greatest twists of the last 25 years in a movie. If you don't know what it is, I didn't know what it is when I saw the 4K re-release a couple of years ago, and I was just like pretty decimated. So I'm gonna put Old Boy here.
Ask you a question.
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
If I were to veto this pick, would you pick a different Park Chan-wook movie, or would you abandon it altogether?
Are you referencing Decision to Leave?
Or The Handmaiden?
The Handmaiden.
I haven't seen The Handmaiden, so I cannot.
The Handmaiden.
It is.
You have to watch The Handmaiden.
But also Decision
Perfection.
to Leave. Okay, I'll say Decision to Leave would be the right pick. It's also probably too 2020s pilled, considering we've already kind of pulled from that. A little bit already. So it's fine. I think Old Boy.
Trying to get old a little bit here. Old Boy 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, and if I got a lot of other things,
Oh, was Old Boy 2003?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because my next pick is also going to be a foreign film from 2003. That's not Old Boy.
Ooh, foreign film from 2003.
And it will get vetoed probably.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, I think I know what you're talking about, actually. I think I have it right here or somewhere. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
If I'm right.
I guess we could leave Old Boy. I'm like kind of opposed to it, but not enough to veto
Oppose, friend.
No, but
I don't have
my
any power.
Yeah, my problem is, well, here's my thinking, and this might be evil and malicious a little bit, but like I only get the one veto, and so I'm thinking of just saving it for one of these last 3 picks, where if I veto you, you just can't get that movie on the list at all, you know?
Okay.
Unless all 3 of your picks are just
villainous.
like movies that I love, then I'll be like, sure, but I'd rather save it and just be able to like not like completely knock a movie off the list if I don't like it. So I'll let Old Boy slide.
Okay. I'm not liking that.
I don't want that to be intimidating.
Cosign, but okay, it's very intimidating.
Okay. But I still have a veto override, so
that's true.
You do.
Just in case.
Okay, so we're moving forward with Old Boy here at number 17.
Yeah, sure.
That's okay. Okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, I was considering Decision to Leave, but I wanted the action that Old Boy brings. I think, of course, very, very pivotal hallway sequence. For those listening on YouTube, I do actually have the set used hammer that Neon gifted me for a contest that I won. So it's a little near and dear to the heart. It's not a movie that
there was like a half movie recording shed, half like actual shed thing going on, and you just
like you thought it was a real,
like
a real hammer. Yeah. No, this is the hammer from Old Boy. At least that's what Neon told me. I'm good. I'm good with Old Boy here.
Okay. I will play the movie I was referencing. Okay, and again, I'll preface: if the problem with selecting this movie is that I think another movie by this director is the most significant Best Picture win of the last 25 years.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I have it in my hand. I have the film you're talking about in my hand right now, and if it is what I think it is.
Just say
listen, you can veto me if you want the other movie on the list, because I'm sure everybody does, but I would like to play Memories of Murder.
Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting.
Dang. Look at that.
I knew it. I knew it.
Listen, I think this is better than Parasite. And I don't think that's that controversial to say. I think Parasite also a great movie. And like I said, the most significant Best Picture win and very deserving. And if you want it on the list, that's cool. I think Memories of Murder, though, should also be on the list. So it's complicated.
You know, up until this moment right now, I love both films. And Parasite, there's like such a huge conversation around Parasite because it got so much acclaim, right? But up until this moment, you had me really think like, is Parasite better than Memories of Murder? And I don't think it is. I think Memories of Murder is the better film. So yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, it's one of my 3 favorite movies ever, probably. I love Memories of Murder.
It's
and
phenomenal.
Also I'll advocate for it without getting explicitly political. I will say it would be a good sentiment to have one movie on the list that makes cops look stupid in this exact moment.
Can't argue with that. I think it's very fair.
Drafting.
I mean, the only reason I would say I would put Parasite on a list over is just the significance of it. Like if you're thinking of that and what it achieved and just its place in history overall. But if I was picking just a movie to rewatch, a movie that I think is stronger, I would go with Memories of Murder.
Okay.
So good.
So Parasite was my introduction to Bong Joon-ho, as probably was for a lot of American film viewers, I guess. I think is like a fair bucket to put it in. And so Parasite actually does hold the kind of cultural power that a lot of people say it holds. It does hold that power for me specifically. I'm going to veto Memories of Murder. I'm sorry, Kevin.
That's okay.
I think it's fair.
I saw that you have 2
sorry.
vetoes, and I was like, this can't possibly go well for me. But
That's the only reason. If I had one single, I think we'd be moving on. But I do have the 2 vetoes. Now, Sophia does have the override she could use here if you want to keep it in the spot. But I just can't walk away.
Here's
with
what I
Memories
will
of Murder on the
say,
board.
Ethan. You're not going to like what I replace it with.
God damn. Are you serious? Why can't you just... Okay. All right. I just...
You're going to take
hear,
Memories of Murder on the list. I'm going to
I'll
make
hear
pay
you out.
for it.
I will hear you out.
Well, I literally didn't have a movie prepared. I knew I would get vetoed, but I didn't have a backup plan. I have several backup plans, and they're all varying degrees of like movies that you guys are probably not going to want on the list. But
I have a feeling.
I have to think pretty hard about what that should be. It's like, do I make a case for Magic Mike 2, perhaps? Do I, get The Fault in Our Stars in here?
Oh
like,
my
these
God.
These are things we have to think about now.
I know that you said you don't have animation on your short list. Feels like it could be a fun animation slot here. If we want to
I was
collaborate.
kidding when I said there's no animation. There's like maybe one animated movie on my list, 2, I guess. I'm not going to draft them. That's ridiculous, but they're on there.
Okay. Let it be known, an hour and 30 minutes into this draft, this was the inciting incident that made the whole draft go downhill when Ethan vetoed Memories of Murder. Now nobody's happy.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna make like a spiteful pick. I will try to pick something good. I'm just saying that my definition of good, I think like Memories of Murder, everybody could agree on. Whatever I'm gonna pick next, I don't know that everybody's gonna agree on as much.
Okay.
Do you want me to like throw out some of the movies I'm considering in the spirit of collaboration so that you guys could kind of weigh them?
I'm good with that. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
a real pro collaboration move, Kevin.
Okay, cool. So I would just throw out a couple movies from like my favorite directors. I would say Signs if we were going to put M. Night Shyamalan on the list.
Okay.
I would say Miami Vice if we were going to put Michael Mann on the list.
Oh, that's interesting.
Interesting. Put a pin in that conversation, but keep going.
I think if I was going to do another international pick, I would probably pick A Separation, the Asghar Farhadi movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
It's a good one.
Those are like some of the movies I'm juggling. A lot of the other movies I'm like kind of interested in are I don't want to pick another 2020s movie, but there's a couple from the 2020s.
Mm-hmm.
Another international pick I might suggest Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Pulse, if that is something that
I haven't seen it, but I love
haven't seen
Kiyoshi
it.
Kurosawa. I love Cure. I got Cure right here, actually.
Love Cure.
Love it.
Oh,
Cure is great. Pulse
So
is
good.
just as good.
You did
It's like a better
open up
version of Long Legs.
You opened up the Michael Mann bag. Is there any road that leads
You want
to
me to put
Collateral?
Collateral?
Mhm.
yeah.
That's my question to you.
There's a road that leads to it. The problem is that Miami Vice is better,
Okay.
and so
well,
we'd have to have a real.
I haven't
honest
seen
debate
Miami
about
Vice.
what you value.
Okay, so this is interesting.
I'm trying to pick. Listen. It's just the problem is a lot of what's on my list. It's like I want to pick something. This is a high spot on the list. I wish you didn't like veto this movie because now we're like towards the top. I wouldn't have felt bad about like shaking things up earlier. But let me look at my list based on the average rating. Let me pick the movies that I can just
Stooping
play
to the
Parasite.
demands of the people. Let it be known.
Would you if I just played Parasite? Would you guys like that?
Would you guys like that? Look, I don't succumb to me. I think Parasite's fine, but
pick what you want to pick.
You open the Michael Mann bag. I'm much more interested in the Michael Mann conversation right now.
Okay, I'm interested in it too. I think people aren't going to be happy that Miami Vice is on the list.
I love Miami Vice. I think that's fun.
It's a very good movie. What about okay. No, I don't know. I mean, we could go and Mike. Would you hate Signs?
No, I wouldn't hate Signs. I haven't seen Signs recently enough to like go to bat for Signs. But if we're talking about M. Night, then I think that's like the definitive, right?
There was one
trap.
You're gonna shoot this down so fast. There was one curveball that I had on my list that I was going to petition for because of the release being complicated. There is a 6-hour made for TV movie that has been labeled a mini series because it was released to HBO in 2003 as 6 parts, but then also released as 2 3-hour parts. In reality, it is a 6-hour movie, but they call it episodic. Angels in America.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I
don't know.
I love Angels in America.
It's directed by an actual filmmaker, Mike Nichols, like a real legendary filmmaker. It has a stacked cast. I guess you could argue it's a TV show, but to me, it's in a weird middle ground. It won awards for made for TV movies, but I don't know. Just something to consider. No, I mean, just for the sake of time,
I think Signs is a good play.
I think I might go in the Signs direction, but now I'm kind of worried that you guys won't put a Michael Mann movie on the list.
Oh, we'll put a Michael Mann movie on the list.
Okay. Can I ask you this, Ethan, since you're going to be on part 1? If I don't play Parasite here, will you put Parasite in the top half of the list?
We will 100% put Parasite in the top part of the list. It's just a matter of where. That would be my take. Unless I get strategically outplayed to smithereens, Parasite will be on that list.
Okay, sure. I'll put Signs on the list. That's fine.
Okay. I like it. Wow. I like Signs. I think 2 movies in a row that have major narrative twists towards their end that totally change the scope of the film. Really interesting. This is good. This is very good. We don't have an O2 movie yet. We are 100% new year every single pick. This is wild work from us.
Yeah, this is good.
Good job,
and
guys.
Signs is, I mean, I don't know. Like, Signs is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. M. Night Shyamalan. I think Jeremiah thought that I was going to say Signs when I picked First Cow earlier in the draft because he's pretty much up there as my favorite director as well. It's hard to just pick one, but Signs is amazing. It's really good. I every time I put it on, I cry for like 2 hours straight, and then I think about it forever until the next time I watch it. So,
all right, good pick. Okay, Sophia, you're up with 15. We only have 3 more spots. Sophia, you've got to pick. Jeremiah, you've got to pick, and then I've got the 13 slot. I still have a veto. Jeremiah, you have a veto. Sophia, you've got a veto override.
You're
Kevin,
right.
you still have a veto or you still have a veto as well. So this could get a little frisky going into the victory here.
So the pick I'm about to make, I think if you guys veto it, it has to be in the top tier conversation.
Okay. I'm not a fan of this concession making conversations that we're
I
having.
know.
That really falls on me, and that's a lot of pressure on me.
But
hear me out.
I think it will. It really is a big hear me out. This is from 2019. It is Celine Sciamma's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I think this is a perfect film. It's exquisite. I was just completely transported by it when I watched it. I think the ending is perfect. It's so melancholy.
Don't say anything about the ending. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay. I just think it is. It's one of those I think it's just a perfect movie, and it's one of those that I think when the Sight and Sound list came out, it was the most recent addition into the top movies list. So I just think it's just really well made and beautiful. So that's why it's my pick. But I understand if you'd want to put it higher, or if maybe it feels like we need to go for something a little bigger here. But this is my pick.
This is good. I don't think we should veto it.
I don't think we should veto it. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very pro as the one who hasn't seen it. I co-sign this. I did tweet last night at time of recording. It'll be last night. I was like, I'm just in the mood to watch like a really, really good, perfect movie. A lot of people message me Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and shout out Brian Sudfield. I know you'll be mad when you listen to this that I still haven't seen it. I know you text me all the time to see it. I will. I promise. It's on the list. Okay.
So we're okay with it?
Yeah. I'm cool.
Yeah. I'm actually planning on rewatching it sometime in the next few weeks.
You got to watch it. It's really good.
I know. That's what I hear. I mean, it made it to 15 on this list. So that is a big deal. I feel like that's our first year repeat. Let it be known you've committed the cardinal sin and you've opened the gate.
And
to
Parasite is
any
also
year.
2019, so that's at least 3 2019
That's gonna be at least
movies.
3.
We have 3 2019. I mean, 2019 is a very like.
It's a great
I have
year.
another one that I have to put on the list.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, which
What?
one?
What's the OG?
Actually,
I'm just
trust,
worried. I'm
No
just
faith.
worried about what you're about to say is your other 2019 movie.
A lot of good movies in 2019. You know,
there are
but-
a lot. There are a lot.
There are a lot, but
I think it's one of
4
the great
I think would
movie
be
years.
excessive. I think 4 would be too many, and I'm scared that you're gonna pick like I don't think you would stoop as low as like Joker, but I'm scared you'd pick something.
okay. Wow.
I'm
How
scared
low
you'd
you
pick
think of
something
me?
in the. Oh, you know what I think you might. I think I know what movie you might pick, which is I guess it's fine.
Tell me. What?
You want me to say it out loud? Would
Yeah,
it be
I
Little
do.
Women?
I do. Oh no, I like Little Women, but no, I wouldn't.
Oh,
put it on the
okay.
list.
Uncut
love
Gems.
Little Women.
There we go. Now the brain's
Yeah,
clicked.
Uncut Gems is on my short list. I guess that's.
I just met Josh Safdie. I don't know if you guys saw that video.
I did see that.
I was walking down the street, and he's like, I turned to my left, and he's just walking towards me. It was like he just like spawned into the game lobby. It was kind of crazy. Cool guy, very nice guy.
I think
Very
if you're going to play Uncut Gems on the top half of this list, in the spirit of collaboration, I'm going to text Sophie and ask her to veto it.
To veto it in the 1 through 12 spot?
Yeah, in the 1 through 12 spot.
She would automatically. She doesn't need your text. Trust me.
Okay, cool.
She would do that.
I think 4 2019 movies might be pushing it, but
I've got more. On the list. Okay, Jeremiah, you have the 14 spot. What shall you be playing?
Ooh, 14. Let's see here. I gotta do a better job of looking at what I'm going to pick.
Lot of pressure. Lot of pressure here because essentially what is played at 13, 14, and 15 is the holdover that'll take us into the top 12 that really determines the energy of that trajectory. So no pressure, Jeremiah.
So I want you to do me a favor. Tell me what years we haven't picked yet.
That's a good question. So
like
we've
more than
done
half of them still, right?
We've done 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. We have not picked 04, 05, 06.
Nothing until the 2010s.
We did pick 07, 08.
Oh, yeah.
We have not done 09. A lot of things like 10, 11, 12. 11 we picked The Tree of Life, but 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All out in the open.
Yeah. I think like a mid-teens pick would be good.
I know what
I like that.
So I'm not going there. Unfortunately, I made my mind up before you suggested that. So I made up my mind before you even said that, and I kind of alluded to it earlier a little bit. And I'm gonna pick this film because I don't have any faith that it's gonna be put on this list unless I voice it. And if you guys veto this, shame on you, because I think that this personally probably is my favorite film of all time. You know, whenever someone asks me, hey, Jeremiah, what's your favorite movie? Like, what's a film that you could watch every single day for the rest of your life? It's going to be this film.
How are you going to say that before drafting it? You're making me feel bad when
I'm picking Spider-Man 2, which I think is the greatest superhero film of all time.
Oh my
I think
God.
that we need a superhero movie here. I think
when
I
you
love
said
Spider-Man
earlier,
2.
I joked about Spider-Man 2 before, and I saw Jeremiah like react to it, and I was like, "Oh, you're putting this on the list," and I was so ready for you to do that. I think this is a perfect pick. I think this is if you're gonna have a superhero movie on here, this should be the one.
This is like the perfect superhero. Like I think like. I mean, like you can argue like The Dark Knight or like whatever, but I think Spider-Man 2 blows them out of the water. I think this has some of the best character development in a superhero film, some of the best action sequences. You're getting like Sam Raimi is an auteur filmmaker, and even though this is a superhero blockbuster, there's like bits and pieces of his horror, his like horror aesthetic, like the whole scene with Dr. Octopus in the hospital. There's the whole scene on the train. There's like so many great sequences within this movie. And I think a film like this just has to be on a list like this. So,
yeah. I'd also argue this is like one of the movies that captures most like what superhero movies should be instead of what the MCU made them what they
Mhm.
are now, which is like all of the superhero movies we get now have like world-ending stakes and are so impersonal that
Yeah.
you feel like the superheroes are never
Mhm.
actually defending real living human beings. When you watch Spider-Man 2, you're like, this is a
Yeah.
guy who is protecting New York City, and like you can tell that what's happening, like he's actually like making an effect on the community. And no superhero movie that comes
Yeah.
out today feels like that.
It's a great New York movie too.
Yeah.
Ooh, great
Yeah.
shout.
It's a
Yeah.
fantastic New York
Mhm.
film.
Very
And
important.
honestly, watching this, I used to watch this film a lot as a kid, right? So I think that's a big reason why I'm here in New York now. Like movies like Spider-Man 2, like always planted a seed of like I have to be in this place. Like this is a place
Yeah.
where I have to eventually end up. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is beautiful. I rewatched it when it released in theaters last year for its anniversary, and like I cried like a little baby.
Yeah, me
There's
too.
a scene where Aunt May is like there's a hero in all of us when she's talking to Peter, and like just scenes like that. They don't make
Yeah.
movies like this anymore, man.
Yeah, you're right. They actually don't.
This was not really on my radar, and I think is a great kind of launches us into the Christopher Nolan question, which is, is it The Dark Knight? Is that the Nolan film? I don't think it is. Of course, like in terms of the parasite of everything, it is important to recognize The Dark Knight and how it did change the Academy Awards forever. But I also saw Spider-Man 2 a ton as a kid, rewatched it in theaters when it did its thing, and just going through the IMDb quotes right now, just like tugging at my heartstrings. It is exactly what you guys said. It's exactly what a superhero movie should be. Tobey Maguire is like, that's my Spider-Man. That's my guy. Of course, we get the my back joke
My
that we
guy.
see later on in Spider-Man No Way Home, which I think is a great carry forward. Pizza time. An incredible Doc Ock joke. Has anybody lost a big roll of $20 bills because we found the rubber band? Just good shit all the way around. This is a great play, Jeremiah. Really respect this. Love it. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are responding so well to it. I was a little bit nervous, but I'm glad that we're all in agreement.
This is good.
I think this makes the list fun. Like I think this like adds a
Yeah.
layer to the list that we need. And this like we were talking about the blockbusters
Yeah.
before. Like this is the kind of blockbuster I'd like to see if we're making a list. Like a blockbuster from a real talented filmmaker.
Yeah. All right.
For sure. For sure.
So I have the last pick here at number 13, which will then propel us into part 2, which will come out next week, spots 12 through 1. I feel it is my duty to at least pose possibility of some of the bigger questions. And I feel like Spider-Man 2 was a great kind of cutoff point to like, okay, we're in the top 13 now. And I know that it's like about halfway. It's not technically halfway, but like, there are a lot of things and people and filmmakers that I think are in this zone and deserve to have a shout. So we talked about Parasite being in the top half of the list. That'll occupy one of the 12 spots. We mentioned Michael Mann. We talked about James Cameron with Avatar. We have talked about PTA, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan. Are any of these people in this spot, or is all of that kind of in a part 2 edition? What do you guys think?
I think it depends which Scorsese you go with.
Okay.
Because I think there is like you could, because I contemplated doing one actually at 15.
Okay.
Just because it's so recent. I thought about taking Killers of the Flower Moon there. I think that's just like such a perfect movie of his. But also like if you're thinking Wolf of Wall Street, like maybe you guys like that one a little bit more. Maybe that could be a little bit higher. The Irishman, like there are a lot of choices.
Yeah. What do you got, Jeremiah?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I love this era of Scorsese, especially like within like the last maybe like 12 to 10 years. Like I think he's been putting out a lot of strong work. Like you look at Silence, a really beautiful film there. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
What else? Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't love The Irishman, but I do think Scorsese definitely, even in his old old age is like putting out some of his best work. So I don't know. I feel like a spot right here could be a nice nod to a great director who's like this isn't necessarily his era, but he's still working in this time frame. So I think it's it could be nice to give a good nod to him.
I like that. Yeah, I like that thought process. That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm looking at my short list, and a lot of the things on my short list: Fincher, PTA, Nolan, couple other like non-director specific things. I think will occupy a good chunk of the top list.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not super concerned about those. I love your pitches for Scorsese here. I'm gonna go the route that Kevin did earlier. I'm going to toss out three things, and I think we should maybe collaborate briefly and see what we feel. So I do think Killers of the Flower Moon is a very viable option here. I want to put that out there. I do think The Irishman in a perfect world would make this list, but that's another conversation.
I love that movie. Yeah.
Love The Irishman. Sophia, just you and I, just the more and more, but look at us.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put forth Killers of the Flower Moon. I do want to put forth Collateral. We had mentioned the Michael Mann conversation, and I know where Kevin stands on this. I also want to put forth Michael Clayton. Kind of a left out of left field here.
List, probably.
I love Michael Clayton.
But so also I would weigh in by saying, and this is gonna make me sound like such an asshole, but like I don't know that there's so few good filmmakers to be debating whether or not like Nolan should or whoever should be it. And like I think it's fine if you put a Christopher Nolan movie here or whatever, because I think there's so many filmmakers you didn't name that like are totally viable for being on the top of the list, whether it's like Soderbergh or George Miller or Spike Lee or whoever, like all these people who probably might not even make the list. So
Cohen's.
if you want to put Nolan here, if you want to put Scorsese here, I think it's fine. I think if you're going to put Scorsese, pick wisely because I might veto it, but
wow,
I also have a veto too. I also have a veto.
Oh, me and Jeremiah could team up and just make sure that you land on the right one.
Interesting.
We could do something interesting though with my override.
We could. This could be good.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on Survivor or something. All these like overrides and these vetoes.
Oh, we should do a Survivor themed movie draft at some point.
Dude,
yes. That'd be sick. Okay. I guess something about this spot just like screams like don't fuck it up, because like there's so many that I feel like might not make that 12. I know Ben is monstrously pro Michael Clayton.
I like the Michael Clayton pick a lot. I think that would be a great choice.
I could see Michael Clayton getting 12 or 11.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Michael Clayton? Whoa.
I have it actually.
If you say Ben likes it, then I guess it would probably get into the top 12 because you'd have the power to keep it there. But
how many 2007 movies will you have in the top 12?
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
No Country.
No Country. There Will Be Blood.
Name. Oh, you named
but is There Will Be Blood? Is that the PTA movie? You know what I mean? Like
that's not my PTA movie.
Transformers. Yeah,
not my PTA movie, but I think that is the PTA movie. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when people think of Paul Thomas Anderson, they think of There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Even though that's not his best movie.
Talking about PTA, the movie that I did choose to watch last night was There Will Be Blood. That was the one movie
we saw you posting about it.
I was very vocal about my experience
with There Will Be Blood.
My first time watch. I had put it off for a very long time, and I knew going into this conversation it was imperative to see There Will Be Blood. Of course, it's a 5-star masterpiece. Mm-hmm. Where it ranks among PTA is one of those Scorsese questions. It's like a complete personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it a little difficult.
Can I throw something out also on the subject of what Jeremiah said about picking a director who worked in a different era, but whose movies bleed into this era? Did you consider, or maybe you're considering this for the top half of the list, Mulholland Drive? I
haven't seen Mulholland Drive.
Oh, okay.
And at the time that this pod comes out, I will have seen it because we have the 2001 draft. So maybe you're catching me between times.
Well, I'm just thinking in that headspace because I think that was a good shout. The idea of picking somebody who their bulk of their movies came out in the 70s, 80s, 90s, but like leak into the 2000s, I think would be a good strategy. Even like Ridley Scott or someone like that. I don't think Ridley, but like just for example,
we're not feeling Collateral in this spot. The Michael Mann.
I think it's fine. I'm not opposed. Obviously I was gonna fight for Miami Vice, but it's not like the, I mean, Michael Mann's never made anywhere close to a bad movie. You could put any movie here.
Okay. I have a really strong feeling Michael Clayton will show up in the next episode. So I'm gonna pass on Clayton because I know Ben and I can argue for it and we can strategize. And I hope I'm right about that because I am guessing 6 weeks in. I can't escape this argument that you all have made for a filmmaker who has continued to bleed through their heyday. I am going to put forth Killers of the Flower Moon here at number 13. I think if there's a Scorsese on the board, I think it's Killers of the Flower Moon. I think it is all encompassing for exactly what his career has substantiated to in the last 25 years. It would be our most recent addition to end the list. I think it would be a fascinating exercise. And I think it is a great segue into what the top 12 will be, which I imagine, I could be very wrong, but I imagine will be the Nolans, the PTAs, the Finchers, the other things that are big. And it feels like this is big in the right spot. But I have a feeling it's getting vetoed.
I love
Like,
Killers. No, like I love Killers. I think it's great. But like it's like when I think of this era, like the last 10 to 12 years of Scorsese, like that's not the film I think of when I think of Scorsese. The film I think of personally is Silence. I think that's the best film he's made like in the last like 10 or so years.
I respect
that. So like
if
I think Scorsese last 10 years, I'm thinking of Silence personally. I don't know how everyone else feels. If we're talking about Scorsese.
If we're talking about this entire time period, I think it's The Departed. But if we're talking
about the
last
true
10-ish years, then I would lean in Killers of the Flower Moon's direction. I
just like the narrative. I like the narrative around Killers of the Flower Moon making the list. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm so like iffy about all the like so many 2020s movies, but I'm not going to be the guy who vetoes Killers of the Flower Moon, so it's fine. Like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy either.
For me to build.
I think what's cool about Killers, I agree. I think Silence is definitely that's in my like top 5 Scorsese ever. I think it's just like so perfect. And that's a movie he was trying to make for so long and trying so hard to get it right. But I feel like Killers is the type of movie that's only going to get better with time. I think it's like so rich and layered and has so many great performances in it. And the ending and what he's saying literally in that final moment, I think is really cool. So I don't know. I like it.
No, I think it's a good pick. Yeah. I'm just worried that
let's go for it.
I hope that the first part of this, the top 12, I should say, of this list represents like the 2012 to 2018 window, which is just completely missing from what we did. That's what I'm nervous about, is that I feel like it would have been good to pick something there. And Silence would fit in.
Would have filled that.
I like Killers of the Flower Moon more.
I also am curious if Jordan Peele will come up.
I was also thinking about that. I was thinking that I was between Nope and After Sun, and I went After Sun, and now
I would have loved either one. I would have loved.
Dude, I love Nope. I love Nope so much.
Okay, so very interesting. Like
I said,
this is very
Killers?
Pivotal pick.
I think we should, but I don't know. I mean, if you want to
somebody's tossing out a veto,
if you want to veto it to get Silence on there, I don't think it's the worst idea. But if you did that.
I will be honest with you.
I might veto Silence to get.
I'm not picking Silence. If you veto this, I'm going in another direction.
Oh, okay.
But there's 2 vetoes though. So what if we get 2 vetoes in there? Then what?
Well, by other direction you mean not a Scorsese movie?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I would.
Oh, guys, we were locked in. We were locked in on Killers.
I'm still mostly locked in, but it's like as a thought experiment, I almost want to just like see it get vetoed just to like see what you put out there. Because I kind of just like, I don't know. No, it's fine. Let's just leave Killers unless Jeremiah has something to say about it.
I mean, I was pretty clear. If it's not Killers, it's what did I say? Because now I'm looking at my list, I can't figure out
Michael
what I
Clayton.
said. Yeah, well, it's Collateral. I think that would be the direction that I would go.
Okay, but we have two vetoes.
I think we're good with Killers,
unless you
though. I think
override,
everybody's cool
but-
with it.
Jeremiah, it's up to you. You make the call on the veto. Because if he puts out Collateral, I might veto that just for fun.
Oh my god, guys, we could sew this up. Be done.
We could.
Bedtime. You guys are all East Coast. Why don't you want to go to
Yeah,
sleep?
no, I know.
Just
It's
put
kinda
it
late.
to
Yeah.
the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up. Yeah. Okay.
Let's okay. Killers could stay.
Killers
That's
is
fine.
cool.
Yes.
Let's go Killers.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very fascinating. As soon as this recording ends, I will be sending this list to Ben and Sophie, and I'm very interested to hear their thoughts on what we have come up with here in the top 25 movies of the last 25 years, part 1 of the 2-part collaborative draft series. Here, I find it fascinating that we ended with 3 unused vetoes and a veto override. There were only 2 vetoes used in this entire list. Not really how I thought it would go. Looks like we were true to our statements of working collaboratively. It feels like we did pretty good. I think the one big call out, Kevin, you mentioned, there is a glaring lack of mid-teens 2000s. I think that is just missing from our list. How many of those will show up in part 2? We shall see. I'll quickly go through this list. We're not going to be doing honorable mentions. I guess we could toss out maybe a couple honorable mentions. I would like to keep it minimal so as not to influence the top 12 too much here, because of course we could kind of do that journey all together if that was the goal here today. So at number 25, we got Superbad. At 24, we picked First Cow. At 23, Almost Famous. At 22, Y Tu Mama Tambien. At 21, Synecdoche, New York. At 20, After Sun. Number 19, The Tree of Life. Number 18, Past Lives. Number 17, Old Boy. Number 16, sorry, let me be clear. Old Boy, the Park Chan-wook 2003 movie. This is not the remake.
The other one would have been a totally fine pick, actually.
Wow. I haven't seen it because I've been so deterred.
I was kidding. I haven't seen it.
Number 16 is Signs. Number 15, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Number 14, Spider-Man 2. And number 13, Killers of the Flower Moon. I am in love with this list. I think we have accomplished a lot here today, and this exercise went remarkably well. And I think if Jeremiah didn't pick Spider-Man 2, I would feel a lot less inclined to be so happy. And I am really in love with that pick. So well done. You guys think it was successful? You think we accomplished the mission here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Awesome.
only fear is that there are movies that I think are so deserving of a top 10 spot, and I just don't know if they're going to get there.
Yeah.
And there's like
I
films
feel
from
similarly.
like directors who have multiple films, and it's like I love the multiple films from them, but I'm just curious like which film from that director is going to get in, because they all can't make it in. So
It's a tough
Yeah.
beat. Do you guys have a couple that you want to toss out in hopes that you maybe see them in the top 12?
Well, I would just say like movies from that period that we didn't draft in hopes that they get up there. Like you said action. I feel like I'd be curious to see if Mad Max Fury Road makes the list.
Yep,
Mid
that was
2010s.
Where I was going.
I don't know. There's like I like Manchester by the Sea, Lady Bird. There's like movies from that. We didn't mention on the subject of great directors of the last 25 years, Wes Anderson. And if you want to pick like his most popular movie, Grand Budapest, although it's not his best, but it would be good for the list. Stuff like Ethan loves First Reformed. I know that might make it.
That'd be
might
so
end up there.
fucking cool if I put First Reformed on this
yeah.
list.
I
would
considered
oh.
First Reformed for my first pick and thought it was
Really?
way too rogue. Yeah, I thought
Wow.
it was. I thought it was
I
too
would have
crazy. too
supported
early.
that wholeheartedly. That would have been
I
so
thought I
goated,
considered it.
Sophia.
Could I circle back to my documentary pick?
Yeah, please.
I think
yeah.
I think we should. I think there should have been a documentary, but I understand why we didn't. I would have put The Act of Killing on the list. I think
I've heard very good things.
probably
about
the
this.
most like prescient documentary from the last 25 years. I think if any documentary was like, it's not. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite documentary of the last 25 years. It is such an important movie to represent this period of time. It's an even more important movie to represent like the last 2 to 3 years historically,
Mhm.
which is why it would be good here. It came out in like 2012, so it's been a little bit, but The Act of Killing is like, if we were going to put a documentary on there, yeah,
Okay.
I think it probably should have been in the mix.
Okay. Duly noted. Any other than First Reform, Sophia, did you have any that you were considering? You want to toss out?
Yeah, I think like my most recent ones that I didn't take just because they were so recent. Tar, obviously, which I'm obsessed with.
Yep.
Nope, we talked about a little bit. The Worst Person in the World. I thought about taking that early. And then I think some that I just like am hoping you guys take. We talked about Mulholland Drive. I love In the Mood for Love, the Wong Kar-wai film.
Mhm.
I thought about taking that, but that felt kind of like way top tier, so I didn't want to touch it. And I think I'm just curious, like which Fincher you go with, which PTA. You know, I'm a threadhead until I die. But
I will try
Let's
my
go.
damnedest for you.
Let's
I will try.
go.
I'm gonna try so hard for
Let's
you on that
go.
pod.
It's
That is
just like the
that's my
funniest
favorite
movie ever.
PTA film. It's the best.
It's
the
the
best.
best. It's so good. Tarantino, I'm
Best.
curious if he
Oh, interesting.
has a spot there because we didn't talk about him.
So,
but yeah, I don't know.
Tarantino,
I
PTA,
just want to stir the pot.
Tarantino, PTA, Chris Nolan, David Fincher, David Lynch, Soderbergh, Linklater,
Spike
Lee. Guys, that's 9.
I know you
movies.
guys
Really
said
only
you
12
want. You want
slots.
did you say Denis Villeneuve? I know you guys want
Villeneuve, that's 10.
Wes Anderson.
Okay, that'd be 11.
Moonlight.
James
Moonlight,
Cameron.
I almost
Yeah,
took,
Moonlight
right?
should find
Yeah.
its way.
A24,
Okay.
that would be our 12th director. There's a lot of things out there. I'm really curious to see how it plays out.
Oh, and don't forget about Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho, that's a lock. Oh God, I'm really stressed out.
Yeah. Some great directors are going to get left off.
The more we talk about our list here today, the less successful I think it was. So we better just wrap this and agree that it was at least successful enough. Jeremiah took off again. A massive thank you to all of you for joining, for doing this exercise with me here, and for kicking off our 2-part series. Kevin, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
They could find me at K Meeks Film, or just K Meeks if it's Letterboxd and maybe some other platforms. And yeah, that's it. I would urge people to keep up with our social media activity, because we are filming our feature film in August. We hit our $25,000 mark. We raised $25,000. We're shooting a feature film in August, and I would urge people to keep up with us for that reason if you're interested in that. We'll be talking about, well, right now we're auditioning people. So if you're an actor and you're listening and you live near Boston or New York or anywhere around there and you're curious, I would say to go to my friend Owen's page. Otherwise, we'll be posting updates about when everybody can watch the movie.
Yeah, super exciting, man. Keep us updated on that. Please go follow all of those things. Notably, you are not on the schedule for any upcoming episodes.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why that's the case, Kevin.
Forever.
What happened there?
When we wrap up here, we can do some planning.
We'll sketch talk. Yeah. Sophia, what about you? If people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim, Blue Sky at Sophia Sim, same handle at Letterboxd. You can find a lot of my writing, so reviews. I just went to the Cannes Film Festival. I also just reviewed Materialists, and I have some other fun stuff coming up at Awards Watch. And then I also have my own podcast that I host with my delightful co-host Nick Rohrkraut called Oscar Wild, where we do Oscar retrospectives and cover the current season too. So you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun, as always.
Yeah, this is good. I really just hope I don't let you down on the Phantom Thread journey on the next part. Frankly,
stay strong for me.
A little nerve-wracking. I will do my hardest.
But Jeremiah, I love There Will Be Blood too.
Yeah, that'll be the real question. Boogie Nights out of contention, unfortunately, or else I would be posturing for that. Jeremiah has dropped. His Wi-Fi has been a little bit buggy this whole episode, so I will just note you can follow Jeremiah on Letterboxd, Jeremiah Battle. You can also follow him on TikTok and Instagram, and then you can catch him doing red carpet interviews and premieres for Letterboxd most of the time. If you see a Letterboxd top 4 video, he's probably the hand holding the mic. So look out for Jeremiah in those instances. A great pod, great draft. As always, thanks to Ben and Sophie. Hopefully they're not too mad with the list that we've curated here. And hopefully the next episode goes as smoothly, more smoothly. Who's maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also now on YouTube with video, which you can watch us and our facial reactions and Jeremiah's video turned sideways, which is really fun. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.